Hello and welcome to day 2 of our 3-day challenge, 3 days to easy AI editing. Today we're going to be looking at Lite Personal Profiles, and like I mentioned, this is a great option if you're somebody that already uses presets, whether that is presets that you've purchased or ones that you've made yourself. This is going to be a great option for you, again, to get started super quick. So from my home screen, I went to AI Profiles, and we're going to go over here to create your own profile. So this is going to be our day 3, but today we're going to look at Lite Personal AI Profile. We're going to name it. So if your presets already have a name, it would be wise to probably name it the same thing. And I had one from Lightroom that I'm going to copy here. So it's a twig and olive preset called Fawn. If you have your preset installed in Lightroom already, then you can likely find it here. There it is. I'm going to hit next. Now it's going to ask you some questions about your preferences for your edits. So do you like your exposure a little bit darker or a little bit brighter? And you choose what you like. I tend to prefer things a little bit more on the darker side. And it's going to ask you, showing you a few different images, what your preference is. So take a peek at each of them. Now, cooler or warmer. I tend to like my images a little bit warmer. Let's go with this one. And green or magenta. So this probably going to stick to the middle, though I don't mind that slight magenta one, but let's go with that. Sure. This one I'm going to choose that one. Let's see what happens. So now it's going to build the profile when I click on that button. And just like that, it's already ready. I didn't speed that up or anything. Here we go, edit with this profile. It asked me to choose my catalog here, so I'm going to go in and find that and pick my folder. I just have 3 images here for this little demo. Hit next. Demo, I'm using the Fawn profile. These are basically family session images. I'm not going to use any of our extra items here today. Make sure those are all turned off and hit edit. And that shouldn't take too long. And we can see now our download to review button is available. Hit that, download edits, and open our Lightroom catalog. Let's check it out. So here are 3 results. Here's the first one, second one, which looks amazing, and the third one. So 1 and 3 are a little bit bright, but we can adjust for them. We can adjust for that. So I'm going to click on exposure here and bring it down a little bit. I'd probably make this a little bit less magenta on the subject. I don't mind it on the background. But anyways, we're getting into editing stuff now. So that's not what this video is about, but you get the idea. So the preset that I used on this, if we look back in our history, here's when I applied it in Lightroom. And then here is where Imagen has applied it and made all of those extra corrections for the white balance and exposure and contrast and everything else. Let's look at this one as well. So this is when I applied the preset in Lightroom. And then this is when Imagen applied it. So I'd probably want actually something a little bit in between those for this one. And then here, this is when I applied the preset. This is very dark. This was our original preset in Imagen. So much closer to what I want there. I'll make a little exposure adjustment on this one as well. And I'd probably go in and do some other things if I was actually editing these, but let's head back over to Imagen now. And I can upload my final edits. And what that is going to do is Imagen's going to gather all those edits that I've made after I downloaded the images from them, and it'll keep track of that. And then once you have enough edits, you'll be able to fine tune this preset, which basically takes all the profile adjustments that you've made and all the adjustments that you've made in Lightroom, takes that all into account and builds you a new version of the preset that should work even better than the one that you're currently using. You can see here, this says, make sure your edits are final, because you can't upload them again after if you go back and do some more editing. So you want to make sure that those are your final versions before you upload them. So I'm not going to do that right now. Just to clarify one thing, when we're uploading our final edits so that Imagen can learn our process over time, fine-tuning doesn't happen immediately. Fine-tuning happens after you have uploaded, I think it's another 3,000 final edits. Then it'll go and reconfigure your profile that way. However, our AI adjustments, or our adjustments to our AI profile, those are immediate. So as soon as you make a correction here, let's say we take the exposure down a few bumps and we up the contrast, I can save these changes and immediately download my photos again with those changes. So your adjustments are immediate. Your uploading final edits for fine tuning, that will happen over time, and it'll let you know when your profile is ready for fine tuning. So there we go. It's pretty simple to create a Lite Personal AI profile in Imagen. If you have presets that you love, this is a great way to add them in there and be able to use them. If, however, you don't want to deal with multiple presets like you are in Lightroom and having to go through and find the one that works best, and you just want to train a profile on all of the edits that you've made for the last year or so, you can do that. And we'll show you how tomorrow on day 3.